Well, g'day. How you doing? Welcome to a new segment we're going to be doing here on YouTube. Once a week, I just want to look at some of the useful stuff I've come across. Still trying to work out a name for this new segment, but I find that there's been a number of things, all kinds of things that have helped me in my journey of faith. Some of them silly, some of them fun, some of them a bit more serious, some of them tools, some of them movies, some of them podcasts, all kinds of things. So just once a week, I want to point you in the direction of something that has really helped me. This will be a little like a series of videos I did a couple of years ago called The Apprentice Toolkit, but sort of updated and looking at a broader range of things. But pointing back to that time, one of the first videos I did then was a tool that has continued to be important for me. And I think in many ways a tool that I am using slightly differently than the creators intended it to. Back then it was called Scripture Typer, and now it is called Bible Memory. So I'm going to introduce you to that tool, and I'll explain to you why it's so important for me. But in order to understand what I'm talking about, let's have a look at this. This is obviously a web page, and you'll see the address there, biblememory.com. This is exactly what you will see when you go to that website, at least for the moment till they change it. And you can use this tool just as a web page. The reason I want to share this with you is I believe that memorization of the Bible is important. But more than that, I've been finding, since I've been using this over the last years, the engagement with the Bible word by word has helped me see so much that I hadn't seen before. And I've learned so much about the Bible just by trying to memorize it. And I'll show you how this process works. So you'll see one of the first things you can do is just go straight to this website and click on Try It Now. It says Memorize John 3:16. When I did this last time, it didn't go to John 3:16. It went to Genesis 1:1. And basically there are three stages to memorizing any verse here. And this is the first stage where you get to type it. Now, if you're worried about typing, it's interesting. This is based around, ordinarily, it defaults to the idea that all you need to do is type the first letter of the first word. So all I do is type in, I for in, and then T, B, G, C, T, H, and it's an A for and, T, earth. 100% accuracy. What do you know? Done. Then it goes to memorize it. This is always the second step in this process. And what it does is give you a few of the words. So I think we can remember I, T, in the beginning, B, God created, T, the heavens and the earth. Yep. We're now a level 1 memorizer. There you go. I haven't signed into my account yet. I'm going to show you my account soon, but this is straight from the website. Okay, then you can just go to master it. And so no hints, all you've got is the reference up the top there, and you can click on, so I, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. 100% accuracy, 1 point bonus, and you'll see already you're seeing you get points and things, and you can choose whatever Bible verses you want to use, and it's all available here on the website. You actually don't need, like I primarily engage it on my iPad. I sometimes use it on my phone, but if you don't have those things available, you can just use a web page like this. And you can choose. You can create an account. There's a way of doing it for free. I paid. It wasn't that much to get the pro account, and that's been helpful for me. But you can see there's now your list of verses, and we have one verse, and you'll see it says it's due in 23:49. That tomorrow you'll get a reminder to engage with that verse again. And if you do that satisfactorily tomorrow, it'll give you a reminder in a couple of days. And then if you do that well in a couple of days, it'll give you a reminder like in 5 days' time, then in a week, and then in a couple of weeks, and then gradually you can push out time and time again, and you can do a different verses each time. You can, as you do that, you'll see that there's a range of options. So if we go back to this verse, so there's a whole bunch of reviews. This is, the top. You don't need to worry about that. It looks like LS from somewhere has clocked it out at level 109. I'm nowhere near that. But if you click on your verses, let's have a look here. This is uncategorized. We're back at Genesis 1:1, and you'll see there are typing options, and you can type the first letter of each word. You can type everything, which is what I normally do because it helps me with my typing. And you can, on the web page, it can measure your speed, or you can measure your accuracy. The verse you can type in the verse reference, Genesis 1:1, or you don't have to. At the moment, you don't have to. It's asking about punctuation. Do you want to type in the punctuation or not? So you can muck around with that. I don't find particularly the memorization process this uses. I find it hard to memorize. I don't know if I could quickly wrote and say for you the verses that I have memorized, but I can type them. And what it means is, for me, this has become part of my devotional life. As I said, there's something about typing out verses that has been pretty significant for me. Now, what I'm going to do is go to my iPad now and show you how it normally works for me. So you can see it's all available here. All the different tools are here, and you can just use it on the web page. But for me, I use and there are apps available for most phone platforms, I think, and tablets and things. For me, the iPad's where it really works well for me. So this is my iPad home screen, and you'll see these are the apps I use the most. The Bible memory app is right here in the top corner. And so this is how I would normally see it. If I click on home, you'll see these are the verses I would normally be looking at. These are it has been pretty significant for me. I've used this app to go through the whole book of Ephesians, to memorize 2 Corinthians 5. For some reason, it duplicated 2 Corinthians 5 there. And Psalm 23, and I'm in the process of memorizing Colossians 1. And I'll show you how it actually works for me. You can see up the top there's a little picture. It looks like a bit like I think I actually might be able to use I can use a mouse here on the iPad. It's just kind of cool these days. I think I can click on the library there. The verse library. No, I don't want to do that. I want to import. Maybe is this it here? Maybe this is it. No, that's how you sort it. Let's see how we import. I've done this a number of times. Well, it's fairly obvious, isn't it? You click on the big plus button here. So click on that. And I want to add a new Bible chapter. In my devotions in the last little while, I've been impressed about how important Psalm 100 is for me. So I'm going to go to Psalm. This out of the way here. My picture's getting in the road there. There we go. Psalm, and we'll go down to Psalm number 100. I've been using one of the verses from Psalm 100 has been really important for my devotional life for a while. Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and as I read through it the other day, I realised that each verse carries a lot of meaning. It's not a big chapter, so I'm going to add. So all I do is go to and add this chapter. and it'll go to the internet and import those verses. And it says you need to just double check it, which is true. So you can see, here we go. It's just imported Psalm 100. And now you can begin the process of memorizing it. So I might actually just, because this is the verse that has been pretty important for me, just in understanding what it means to come to God. And I was talking about it on the devotional video a few days ago, just how for me, as I start my quiet time, my mind goes all over the place, and I know I've got to enter with thanksgiving. I've got to remind myself who God is. And so that's why Psalm 100 verse 4 is important for me. So if I click on that, you'll see we're back to this memorizing thing. So the three stages. The first stage, all you do, and I actually typed this out using letter for letter. So you just enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. If you miss one letter, then you can start. There's a whole lot of them. Psalm 100 verse 4. Okay, 91% accuracy. If you get under 90%, you have to do it again, which is a bit of a bummer. And it also removes the, if I, just while we're here, if I look down, I'll move this, look down here, you'll see all these verses, and it's when they are due to be reviewed next. And if you've reviewed them, successfully, the time which you need to review them gets pushed out and out and out. So there are some now that I don't have to review again for 200 days. They'll pop back up as due in review, but it looks like I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow. There's a bunch of them that are due tomorrow. So that's that. So we've typed out the first thing. That's the first phase. Now it says, now that you're familiar with this verse, try and memorize it. So, and you see what it does. It has sort of gaps, still has words there as clues. So let's go, enter his gates with thanksgiving. And you'll see my typing isn't brilliant. And his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. Psalm 100 verse 4. 90%, just skimmed in under the wire there, so that's good. So we're ready to have a go. So this is the final bit. You click on this and you go. So you can see that where the red bits are there. That's where it's where I've made mistakes in the past. So just a bit of a trigger to say, okay, you come up with something where you've made mistakes in the past. So let's go, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. Psalm 100 verse 4. There you go. So for me, the actual having to type every letter of every word has been an important part of my spiritual discipline. And I have seen so many things that I had not seen before. Particularly the book of Ephesians has come alive to me in a way that it hadn't before. And I'd studied it at university, at seminary. So just engaging word for word with each text has been really helpful for me. So there you are. That's the first tool. I've mentioned this a few times, but it has continued to be an important tool for me. the Bible memory app. It used to be called Scripture Typer. It's available. You can use it for free, but then you can pay for a pro subscription, which gives you a few more options, which I've done. It wasn't that expensive. I can't remember how much it was. But it has become an important part of my devotional life. And I think it was Dallas Willard who said, if I was a pastor, all I would do is get people to memorize Scripture, because that's where the revolution is. There's something about having your brain affected and letting Scripture, letting the Bible enter your head and affect the way you're thinking, that actually does change things. And so I recommend, particularly in this COVID-19 time where a few of us have a bit more time on our hands, this is the sort of thing, of course, you can do while you're watching TV. You can sit there and if you're using your phone, I'd recommend just doing the first letter of each word rather than trying to type out each letter. It's a little bit difficult on a phone. Apparently just simply typing the first letter of each word does help with the whole memorization thing. That is a setting you can use on your phone or your iPad, or else you can type it out like I do. But I'd recommend it. And probably one of the things I probably should also point out is that we actually have a Citywide group on the Bible Memory app. I'll just quickly show you that. So here we are back at the web page version of the app, and I've logged into it so you can see the verses, because it syncs across devices and things. These are the verses, and you can see Psalm 100 there. So we've got 5 verses. There are 5 verses, and the next one is due tomorrow morning. So I'll have to redo Psalm 104 tomorrow. But if you click on groups, you'll find, if you search, you'll find Citywide Baptist Church, and you click on there, and there's a few of us already on here, and you'll find that, there's a really beautiful photo of me on there. Don't know what I was thinking putting that on there. But anyway, there are some verses there, or no, not verses, Bible chapters that I recommend, and that are there for us all to do, and we get to sort of see how each one of us is going. And we can actually put a message. There's a message wall, and you'll see back in 2018 I typed "Who is still using this?" And then wrote, "Working now, seems you have a fair head start points-wise." And we can put announcements for the group, and it's just a way of communicating. Not a lot of us at Citywide have been using it, but I'd love to invite you to come and join us on the Citywide group. Even if you're not a regular, if you're living in some other part of the world and you're watching this, we'd love to still have you at Citywide in our Bible memory group. And these chapters in particular are ones that have been important for me. So there you have it. This Bible memory app has been an important part of my devotional life. And I wanted to just share it with you as the first of the tools or useful things that I'll share each week. The goal is on a Thursday afternoon, about 3 o'clock, we'll post this kind of video just with different things that you might find useful. I'll see you next Thursday with the next useful thing.